Living in Europe, it's difficult for a South African. You have a visceral connection with your country, and yet it is extremely difficult to really understand what's going on without being here. And I remember seeing the Truth and Reconciliation Commission hearings on television and feeling an extremely visceral connection with my country.
Johannesburg's Market Theatre is the setting for a new production that examines South Africa's troubled past and present. This production is the work of German-based South African tenor and director Kobie van Rensburg.
South Africans were extremely courageous in trying to attempt this idea of a Truth and Reconciliation Commission. And today, looking back 20 years after the start of these hearings, I can almost think of no better way of trying to say, lest we forget, looking back at the past so that the future can be better.
The production was inspired by the Truth and Reconciliation Commission hearings. Lamento brings music from the 17th century together with contemporary South African themes to address universal human issues.
20 years since, we see a country divided, a country in turmoil with riots in the streets, people feeling disenfranchised. Monteverdi, 400 years ago, experienced very similar things. And in his Madrigali Guerrieri ed Amorosi, he tried to reconcile the ideas of hate, the emotions of war, the emotions of love and compassion.
Lamento's cast features 5 of South Africa's most promising young classical singers.
It's quite a remarkable work in itself. It investigates so many different facets of what it is to be human. There's so many emotions that are in this piece of music. There's pride, there's love, there's loss, there's heartbreak.
We have all those same emotions still today. We're all struggling through our journeys of life. I have no idea how Kobie got to the genius of connecting this specific scenario with this text, but it just really works. And I mean, if you can really feel it, and if you can feel it, I'm sure your audience can feel it too.
You know, music is like a cure to everything, you know, and with music, you know, people get together. With music, people can relate, and with music, people can share stories.
I do believe that the music from Monteverdi from so long ago is becoming relevant again.
Lamento uses multimedia technology. For the first time in South Africa, live blue screen video and animated titles in English and Zulu are projected on stage during the performance.
I've started to use modern technology with projection techniques in Europe, trying to get a German public to understand the Italian text as it is being sung. That same technology I've been able to develop in a couple of productions, and now we can employ it in South Africa to not only project an English subtitle or a title next to the head of somebody singing, but also in South African indigenous languages. We did Tswana titles in the Notte di Figaro, and in Lamento we're doing Zulu titles.
Lamento uses video as an intricate process. The singers perform in front of blue screens at the sides of the stage, where compact video cameras record the images. Both these live feeds are then digitally manipulated in the control booth, where the blue background is replaced by motion graphics. Anything blue disappears on the projected center screen. This requires great precision from all involved.
The precision is just out of this world. And with the digital cameras and all those kind of things, acting is not that easy.
You just have to know how to play with your face because you are just up close and personal with the camera.
You have to be very, very precise in your movements. You have to have movements that have meaning.
I suppose one of the main challenges with the technology is, well, first of all, it's completely foreign. None of us have actually experienced this type of technology before. The difficulty is that a lot of the time, whatever it is that you're doing in front of the camera, you can't see what is the final product that the audience is seeing, of course.
The process, known as chroma keying, is frequently used in Hollywood motion pictures, but Kobie van Rensburg is pioneering its use in low-budget stage productions.
The technology that we are using, even although it is quite complicated, is all done with consumer technology that people can buy readily off the shelves in South Africa for an affordable price. It is a big challenge to try and do a complicated blue screen technology with a very cheap consumer camera, but that's the challenge we're up to because we're doing it in a very South African and in a very local way. Modern technology can link the hand with 400-year-old music, give us something which is truly unique in that moment of magic that happens only in the theatre live.
Tonight, Lamento will open in front of a Johannesburg audience. It will be the first time in South African theatre history that a production of this type has been seen at the Market Theatre. But first, technical issues demand urgent attention.
Keep moving it back the same way. No, I'm sorry, Kobie, I'm getting frustrated. I can't.
Opening nights, we're always nervous. Anything that can go wrong probably will, if it hadn't happened already at the general rehearsal. We had enough of that happening yesterday evening, so let's hope that there's no rain on the roof that's too loud for us to cope with, that we have no electrical interference on any of the circuits, and that everybody would have a great amount of fun.
Producing something this complex is especially demanding for the young cast members.
I knew the pressure, especially when our director said, "I will do anything to give out to produce the best work, even if it means I have to draw blood out of you."
You have to be responsible, you have to be reliable, you have to be able to be trusted when you're given something to do. You have to do your part. You don't have to wait until someone tells you, do this. The spoon feeding doesn't work.
In Lamento, I play a woman whose husband has been murdered under the guise of something else, but we all know what it was. For me, as a singer and actress, I have to delve really deeply to find personal experiences to get to a place that is raw enough to try and feel what this woman must have felt.
Over here, this is preparation for the scene where we're in the mortuary, and I'm with a couple of assistants. I'm the district surgeon, so I've got my clipboard and my little white coat here. And then just a few other bits and pieces. But it's mainly just an alternative to biting my nails off. Yeah, just fiddling with my props for the last time.
For tenor Nick de Jager, taking part in the production meant hitting the pause button on another life.
Well, my day job is I'm a practicing member of the Cape Bar, so I'm an advocate and I do court litigation day to day. When I heard of what the project would involve, that it would relate to the TRC and that it would be telling stories and asking questions about the TRC and where we are today, I was completely sold on it. It's been quite a roller coaster ride. It's been an exhausting and intense process, creative process, not the kind of process that I've been involved in before. So there were a couple of wake-up calls for it in that sense. I thought, for example, that I would be able to do quite a lot of my normal work in the evenings, for example, and my focus just hasn't been on my normal day job. But things have worked out in a way that I haven't had to do much of that, so I've been able to focus on this project.
The only thing that really remains to be said is toi, toi, toi.
I believe that opera is the most effective art form in capturing almost all the senses of somebody and transporting them and their ideas to places that they might not dare to go on their own. Therefore, I must say that I can't think of a more worthwhile, stressful time to put yourself through. It is stressful in rehearsal. You have to take people to a limit of their own capabilities. All artistic endeavor is aimed at changing the status quo. When Monteverdi wrote music about how hate and anger works in our minds, he was trying to change his social situation. When I perform Lamento and have made this strange concoction of modern South African tales and 400-year-old music, it's because I want to change the status quo. I want to contribute something to changing that which deep inside of all South Africans might lie dormant, the idea of really looking deep into your own heart to find the moment of moving forward in this country and finding true forgiveness and reconciliation.
Lamento's 7 scenes are an exploration of South Africa's past and present, viewed from both political and personal perspectives. Trauma and violence, love and loss, grief and oppression, but also a satirical look at political corruption. One scene makes overt references to ongoing public scandals, with the president's lavish homestead, funded by taxpayers' money, as a central theme.
That's my favorite part, because I also get to do a lot of funny stuff and just dance and just, enjoy myself. So yeah, that's my favorite part.
I thought it was extraordinary, incredible. My hands are exhausted from clapping. It was brilliant, yeah.
It was very nice. I enjoyed the dry breeze and the Nkandla scene.
It was an old story in new clothes. It was beautiful.
Oh, it was wonderful. I enjoyed it very much, very much. Impressive quantity of work and a great pleasure to see it, yeah.
But it was tough too. The play was, it was tough.
This opera does have the effect of moving people emotionally and causing them to ask some personal questions.
It starts with me. What is it that I can do to forgive the next person?
However, it's the youngest audience members' insights that give the best insight into Lamento's impact.
Sometimes it's okay to laugh or to make fun of those problems, even though we know that tomorrow we're going to cry. Yes, but then sometimes in a problem you have to look at the positive and the negative side of the problem and try to by looking at both sides and use those sides or whatever you take from those sides to come up with a solution to help end all of that.
I don't know if we will ever achieve that miracle of complete reconciliation in South Africa, but it's well worth trying. And I hope that this piece can inspire people to go back into their own lives, think, what can I do to make this country a better place?